Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get this thing started off and let's just get going on this because I've got a busy day ahead of me. I got a million things I got to do. You guys are busy. Let's get after it. One big thing that I want to talk on, obviously, in the description today is Cardinal spring training. How happy are you guys? We got a couple games underneath our belts. That first game is a tie. That's weird. I don't think the ties should ever exist in baseball. I was talking to my good buddy Gene Bonds and Ron Nuttall and a few other people, just having conversations back and forth, and and especially in the past, and talking about how ties in spring training shouldn't exist. It should be either you win or you lose, period. That's the way it should be. But I understand why they're doing it. But that's just the way I feel. How do you guys feel about it? Let me know what you think. So I'm pretty excited. Nolan Arenado just the other day got his first hit. That was a nice little, I don't want to say it was a bloop single, but it was just a nice little hit right out there into right field. Just bloop right out there. And it was just a real nice. Played it off his hips and he just turned it right in. I'd love to see that. Fantastic. And always excited to see that Nolan is out there having fun and he's having some success. Not a ton going on in spring training so far as of yet. I'd like to see a little bit more, news, movement, player movement, something like that. Somebody coming up, somebody going down, maybe some new player that's a little bit exciting. There's, the normal, typical stuff that you usually see. But we'll see how things go. We'll keep playing it by ear, and, I continue to keep watching the games and listening to the games and doing what I can to stay in tune with the majority of that. But like I said, it's that time of year. Everything's crazy. Everything's bonkers. It's tax season. The kids are going back to school because, they were off for at least here for at least 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks or something like that due to snow and weather and everything else. I'm sure that there's other areas of the nation where some kids haven't even gone back to school at all. But yeah, it's just been, everything's kind of starting to come back in. Now, the other big news before I step into the other conversation thing that I want to talk about is J.J. Watt to the desert. J.J. Watt signed I believe it was a 2-year deal for about $24 to $28 million guaranteed, somewhere in that vicinity. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% for sure. But just absolutely magnificent pickup for the Arizona Cardinals. Love to see it. That really gives them a good, solid defensive player on their defensive line. Really solidifies a lot of things. Let's see what they could do in their secondary. Let's see what they could do in their linebacker core. Obviously going forward, we're going to kind of see how they're going to develop their game plan, their approach. Love to see what they're doing there. There's still more pieces that kind of need to come about, but it's going and landing somebody of the caliber of J.J. Watt, a true leader, a true baller, high motor, big-time player. That's fantastic. So the main topic that I want to talk about is this Albert Pujols age thing. And if you guys aren't privy to what I'm saying, there is an article that has come out, and it's on several different platforms. This one particular one is on insider.com. And it states the headline that former MLB executive says that Albert Pujols was lying about his age when he signed a $240 million contract with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, or Los Angeles Angels. I don't even know what they are anymore. But the Angels. Is this really a surprise? Is this really a big shock in baseball that there are certain particular players that have lied about their age for one reason and or another? This is nothing new. Players have been lying about steroids. They have been lying about their ages. They have been lying about, you name it. You tell me what they have not lied about, then I'll kind of, narrow that down. But the thing with Albert is that irregardless of if he lied about his age or not, there, at least as far as I'm concerned, I'm not really that concerned about the fact that he lied about his age, or if he did or if he didn't. I'm sure there's a reason for it. Obviously, the Cardinals knew about it. There's other teams and executives in baseball that knew about it. How did the Angels not know about it? If they quote unquote did their due diligence on the player to give him a $240 million contract, how did they not do their due diligence on the player? I mean, any business person that runs any, has like any legitimate business sense, they would make sure that they did their due diligence on the numbers, okay? And then they would have somebody else look at it, and maybe even a third party would look at it. So it's one of those things to where I don't. Let me just give you a snippet of the article that's over on Insider.com. Quote: "There is not one person in baseball, not one executive, who believes that Albert Pujols is the age that he says he is." Sampson, who is a MLB team executive, David Sampson, who served as Miami Marlins president from 2002 to 2017. Now, remember, the Miami Marlins put out a huge offer on Albert, and he didn't sign. So maybe there's some sour grapes there, too. But he said, the amount of fraud that was going on in the Dominican back in the day, the changing of names, the changing of birthdays, it would blow your mind. Sampson said that he knew that Pujols was not the age he said he was when the Marlins tried to court the three-time NL MVP in free agency in December of 2011. Quote: "We knew when we did the calculations for the deal that we didn't care about 2019 and 20 or 21. It was so far into the future that it didn't matter," Sampson said, recalling his negotiations with Pujols. Quote: "We knew he'd be unproductive. We knew that he was not the age that he said he was. We had all the information." So how is it that the Miami Marlins had all the information, but the Angels didn't? It just doesn't make any sense, you see. So that's my argument to the case. So let's jump over to the comments real quick, then we'll jump back into the chat, where we'll jump back into the conversation. Thurman says, Bob the Builder, handyman Jesus? 3 Carpenters I would rather see play for second base for the Cardinals than Matt Carpenter. I don't disagree, but they're paying him a lot of money to sit on the bench. And plus, you got to look at it from the perspective of that they're not going to play him every day. He's going to be 50%, 40%. We might even have a 30-30-30 type of situation with 10% fill-in. But we're talking about with Matt, where he's not going to be that full-time guy. He's not going to be the guy that's going to be, at least common sense dictates that he's not going to be the guy that's going to be leading off in the batting order, and he's going to be playing second base every single day. He's not going to be Colton Wong. The fact of the matter is, and I don't really know if there's a whole lot of people defensively that could be like Colton Wong, but Matt Carpenter is a stopgap for now. They're paying him a lot of money, and from a business standpoint, not a fan standpoint, from a fan standpoint, I have a totally different perspective. But from a business standpoint, I look at it and go, yeah, I mean, I get it. You've already made the contract. It's done. Okay. Now, what you can control is the amount of at-bats that he has. There's certain particular language in Matt Carpenter's contract that allows him to make a certain percentage more based on how many at-bats he gets and certain particular parameters, like NL MVP or, whatever, all-star, vote, whatever you have. There are certain things where he can make some extra cash on, but I don't see that really being the case. There's not really a whole lot that is going on news-wise that's really too terribly surprising in Major League Baseball right now. Nothing really super exciting. It was just kind of going through the motions, getting back into the swing of things, no pun intended. But just getting back to that point of, getting back to regularity somewhat, some way, shape, or form. But we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to be right back here real shortly, and we will talk a little bit more. Stay tuned. We got some more stuff coming up here real soon. All right, we're back. Let's get back into the whole Cardinals baseball spring training. We were just talking earlier before we went to break, specifically about the Cardinals, making moves. Obviously they landed Nolan Arenado and they moved Dexter Fowler's contract and they did a few other things, right? So they're doing the right stuff and they're headed in the right direction. There's a article over on vivaelbertos.com, SB Nation website, and it says, headline, with Miles Michaelis setbacks, the Cardinals should sign Jake Odorizzi, a hunt and a peck. I like this move. He's an Illinois native, if I'm not mistaken. So he's a local product. He's a local guy who understands the market, understands the fans. You could get him relatively cheaply. With the Miles Michaelis situation, he's had several setbacks. You paid him that big money. What is he getting, like $17 million a year, something like that? He's getting quite a bit of money. He's not. It's not chump change. He's getting good money. It says, and this is from Jeff Jones over on Twitter at JM Jones. That's at JM Jones. It says, Schilt says Miles Michaelis is set to throw a side session, quote, this weekend, and they'll assess from there. So that'll be at least a week of rest from his last throw. Doesn't sound like a clear time frame for him to face hitters again quite yet. I'm really concerned about Miles' physical situation right now and where he kind of lies into this whole thing with the, where he's at, the amount of money he's getting paid. The Cardinals might have some kind of an out in his contract. I have not looked at it. I don't know what the options are there, but you might be looking to move on from that. If there's some kind of an out clause that you have that's built into there, it might be an option. You took a big risk of signing him. He had one really good year, and obviously he's gone now. So you're going to have to start making some moves somewhere else. The Carlos Martinez situation, I'm not really thrilled about the amount of money he's making too as well, and the lack of production that he has had at the amount of money that he's getting paid. When there's, I feel significant better options. I mean, look at what Jack Flaherty's getting paid. Look at what he's doing. Don't even talk about the arbitration factor of it and everything else that goes into it. But the fact of the matter is that's the way the game is played. But in this article, over once again on Viva Alberto's, that they're saying that they would like to see Jake Odorizzi potentially be signed by the Cardinals in some way, shape, facet, or form. The Cardinals, I feel they really need one real solid starter. They are, and I know there's some people that might just chastise me for this, but I feel they're like that Lance Lynn away, right? That middle upper end rotation kind of guy. Yeah, you've got Jack Flaherty. He's got the ace position locked down. Yeah, you've got Adam Wainwright. He's your savvy veteran. He's going to go out as your fifth starter, and he's going to go out and he's going to, he's going to chew some innings. He's going to get you some wins, and he's going to take some of that time off other people's plate. But can you really count on Carlos Martinez to be the Carlos Martinez of the past? I can't. Personally, I haven't seen anything that's given me any, idea that he may or may not. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Miles, that speaks for itself. But, we'll just have to wait and see what the options are as we get a little bit further down the line. Maybe that might be a move that they make. Maybe they might make another trade, bring somebody else in. It's hard to say. But that is going to cut it right here because I can't stay on here very long. I got a billion other things I got to get done. Make sure you go over to gatewaycitysports.com. You check out the articles. You check out all the new stuff. We're having new things going on. Make sure you go over to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're all over there. Go check it out. Yours truly, Derek King Sports Show. I'll see you guys sooner rather than later, and hopefully maybe around the same time of what we're supposed to have a show next Wednesday. But we'll see. Maybe we might have to make another format change. I don't know. But we're just going to continue to keep putting content out there for you guys to watch. So thank you guys for showing up. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week.